Well, I'm glad you could join us. We are at Sonoma State University, and Christina with us right now. She is an assistant professor of multicultural studies here. Nice to see you, Christina.
Thank you. Good to
You're
see you
teaching a
too.
course on film.
Right, ethnic images and film and media here at Sonoma State University.
Well, of course, so many people have an interest and gets a lot of publicity these days on television, the latest film, this and that, and so forth. What direction do you take the course?
Well, I personally teach the course as a film lover. I really enjoy watching films, and so I think that students enroll in the class because they love watching films. But with the course, what we do is specifically look at images of racial minority groups. A lot of times what I do is focus on images of African American people in films. And so we look at how those films many times end up reinforcing stereotypes about disadvantaged groups such as African American people. Yeah.
Okay. There have been a lot of comments, pro and con, about people, African Americans, in various roles and how those roles are portrayed in film. What do you think the changes have been since the earlier days of filmmaking? And earlier days, I mean 50 years ago, not 100 years ago, to now?
Well, I think what's really interesting is that there are some areas where there have been very little change. For example, the first African American actor or actress to win an Academy Award, Hattie McDaniels, for her role as Mammy in Gone with the Wind.
Right.
And that was over 70 years ago.
Right, exactly.
And it was a very significant moment to have the first African American person to win the Academy Award. Yet now here we are in 2012, and the only two African American people being recognized at the Academy Awards are being recognized for playing a maid, which was virtually the same role that Hattie McDaniels was recognized for over 70 years ago. So those roles are based on these stereotypical images of African American women, specifically in these sort of service or maid roles, which is based on a very old stereotype of African American women as mammies.
Having worked around the movie business for a while in Southern California and up here and so forth, there are not a lot of blacks working in the movie business itself. And so this seems to be, and the writers and producers and so, do they feel that they don't have the openings, the options to write films that include so many African American people? That they're not going to make money, that the distributors won't take the film because there's not a big enough audience.
Right.
That is hell of things, although there have been some really big black stars.
Yeah, there are quite a few very talented actors, African American actors and actresses, and I think that unfortunately it is true that Hollywood ends up following a very similar for what they think people will want to see, and that does result in the reinforcement of certain stereotypes, and that's why unfortunately we see a lot of the same images over and over again, like the image American women as maids or mammies. But there are also other stereotypes that are very common for African American women, such as the kind of welfare mom idea and the hypersexualized Jezebel, as well as the sort of angry black woman or sapphire stereotype. So those are other common images that we see in the media of African American women that do not at all reflect this variety of characteristics that American women possess and the variety of talents that African American women bring to this society.
Yeah. Okay. Well, people like you are going to change that image. I mean, because you have the emotion for it and the desire for it to see it change. Will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Christina Baker's been our guest, and she's an assistant professor of multicultural studies at Sonoma State University. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.